Hello everyone, this is Eagle Owl. Welcome back. This video is about my personal journey with Sarms and my personal opinion on their effectiveness. I got to give a basic background of my strength training history so that when I explain where I'm at now, what I'm capable of, it all makes more sense and it's all brought into context. I'll start by saying I have been taking SARMs now for one whole year, I think a year plus a month. And yes, I am fully aware that you're supposed to cycle them, and that's what I do. My typical method is I do anywhere from 2 to 3 months on, and then I take a whole month off. And so that's what I've been doing for the last year. I've tried a few different SARMs. I started with the MK2866. And most people consider that kind of like an entry level one, an introductory one. And when I first decided to try them, that's the one I went with first. I didn't want to go with the most intense one because, to be honest, I was a little bit nervous. This whole thing was new to me. I've tried a few different ones. The one that I currently like the most and that I've been working with the longest now is the LGD 4033. So that's the one that I'm going to be sticking with for a while now. I'll give a background about my strength training, and then I can go and explain why I believe that they're very effective and evidence of why they're effective in my life personally. Okay, so I'm 49. I will be 50 in 7 months. Okay, so by a lot of people's standards who are in the gym, I'm considered old. I know a lot of the audience watching this are males in their 20s and 30s. Around in 1994, when I was 23, that was the first time that I decided I'm going to get really serious about strength training and went to a gym, and from that point on, there was no looking back. Before that point in time, like in my late teens, 15, 16, 20, I messed around with some exercising, mostly at home with a few gadgets that was at home, but I did some exercising. But age 23 was when I decided to really hit it seriously. Okay, so in my anywhere from 23 to about age 27, the amount of time and effort I put in the gym was almost absurd. First few years that I worked out, it was 6 days a week, like almost 2.5 hours each time I went. So it was 2.5 hours a day, 6 days a week. I only rested one day. And to be honest, I was overtraining. It was absurd. And then eventually I dropped down to 5 days a week instead of 6 when I was probably 27. And then around age 28 or so, I dropped down to 3 days a week, and it pretty much stayed at 3 days a week for a while. As you get older, your body doesn't heal and recover as well. And so like for reference point, let's say like a bench press. The most I had ever done on a bench press was 1 rep of 290 with no one touching the bar at all. When I did that, I was weighing about 184, and I'm 5'8". So I'm not a big guy. Okay, let's just go ahead and fast forward till now. I've been on SARMs for just past a whole year. Now I know my body real well, and I know what I'm capable of doing. Pick any given machinery in the gym. I know how much weight I should be able to do for how many reps. I know how much I was doing of it 10 years ago, 20 years ago. I know my abilities thoroughly. Currently, a common average for me to strength train is only, on average, about twice a week. I would like to get in 3 a week. That would be great, but I'm not able to. I have a 12-year-old daughter at home, and my job can be physically demanding too. So twice a week is average. So once about every 3 to 5 days I hit the gym. And I know to some of you young gung-ho people who are like 20, 21, you're thinking, wow, that's weak. That's pathetic. Only twice a week. Well, do this for 25 years like I've been doing, and wait till you're getting ready to turn 50 and see if you are like level 10 motivation going in every single day of the year when you're about to turn 50. It's not, there's a lot of things that go on in your life when you're older, and it's not that practical. But here's the point I'm trying to make. With me only going in twice a week, and that's it, on average I'm in there for about 50 minutes. I look at where I'm at now as far as how lean, body fat percentage, as far as my total weight, as far as the amount of actual muscle on my body. Okay, a couple years ago, before I started these Sarms, my weight range could go anywhere from the absolute bottom of the end of 184 to a high of about 190. That was pretty much the range. Most of my workout career, I've been somewhere in the 180s. That was my most common range, was in the 180s. So whenever I would get all the way down to 184 pounds, I remember thinking, wow, this is really good. I've leaned down to 184 pounds. This is great. And I was proud of that. But when I look at the amount of fat I had when I leaned down to 184 compared to now, got less fat than I did then. When I look at the amount of muscle I had then, I've got less fat now. I believe I'm more muscular than I was when I weighed 184. My current weight today is 178 pounds. I feel like I actually take up more space, and there's a larger amount of muscle on my body now than when I was 6 pounds heavier. So the point I'm trying to make is I'm more cut than I was. My muscles are actually bigger, even though when I step on the scale, I'm lighter. So that has to be a combination of I've lost a good amount of fat and I've gained a good amount of muscle to where I can actually be thicker and more muscular and take up more space than I did before at a heavier weight. And that's on only 2 times a week. My strength is great. My strength is close to where it was back when I was like 30, 31. And keep this in mind, this is with me only working out on average twice a week. And I've always pushed myself hard. I've always given it the utmost dedication. And so the fact that I'm able to, with the addition of the Sarms, on the same year that I'm turning 50, the fact that I'm able to go in only twice a week, I'm more lean than I have been in probably almost 2 decades. I'm more muscular than I have been probably since I was 31, 32. With only 2 times a week. That speaks for itself. And I know the only thing that's changed, the only factor that's different now that this change can be attributed to is the Sarms. Because there's nothing else I'm doing differently. I haven't stepped up the amount of time I'm in the gym. I haven't stepped up the amount of days I'm in the gym. If anything, like I said, it's been the opposite. It's a lot less than it used to be. So I won't go on and on about this video, but I will say everyone has their own different opinions about Sarms. But I know from personal experience, from someone who's been serious in the gym since 1994 to now, about to turn 50, that I'm more lean and more muscular with less time in the gym than what I used to have. So this is Eagle Al. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.